Welcome to the full Midjourney version 6 tutorial. This video is going to teach you everything you're ever going to need to know about Midjourney. And by the end of the video, I'm going to make you an expert in Midjourney. You'll be able to generate every type of image for every type of use case, all sorts of styles of images for you, your business, or your clients. Let's jump right into it. If you already know about a specific part of Midjourney, feel free to jump around in this video, go back and forth. I might cover some stuff that you already know, but this is going to be a full walkthrough from beginner to intermediate to expert. I'll try to have chapters at the bottom of the video so you can choose what interests you the most. But if you stick with me through the whole thing, you might learn something that you didn't know. And you never know, that thing might help you out, might make you a better prompter, a better image generator, more successful in your image generation tasks. First off, this is the website that you're going to go to if you don't have Midjourney. It's midjourney.com, and it looks like this. You'll see join the beta or sign in. If you don't have an account, click join the beta. I do. I'm going to click sign in. And Midjourney works through Discord. It's a Discord bot that attaches to your server. If you don't have Discord, you're going to have to create an account. I have a Discord, Wes Frank, so I'm going to authorize it. And it should take you to the Explore page. And eventually you'll be able to prompt up images directly from the Midjourney website. You can see this input box says coming soon. But for now, we're going to have to use Discord. This home page that you land on is the Explore page. You get to see the generations of other Midjourney users. And this is an interesting image, so I'm going to click into this. You'll see who generated it. This is the user's name and the prompt they used to get this image. So it says for me, messy, devouring princess with long serpentine tongue, whimsical illustration. The aspect ratio they chose was 9:16. That is a long image. They used version 6, and their stylized parameter was 250. I can zoom into the image by clicking on it, and my browser zoom doesn't work for making the image larger. So I would have to right-click, save image as, and then open it this way if I wanted to zoom in some more. So look at the detail. She's even crying here. Her tongue is definitely serpentine. This is a creepy but cool image. So we could use this Explore page as inspiration for our own generations. That's what I like to do. I scroll it, see what looks good, and try to make it myself. Like, I like this one. This one's awesome. A woman wearing a silver helmet walking on the sand in the style of space solar punk, pop inspo, installation based, I wonder what that means, observational photography, cosmic visions, DUY, HUY, and H. Some of the words in this prompt I don't understand, but it got this type of image and I really like it. If you like an image, you can click the heart button, and then if you scroll up next to Explore, there's a likes tab, and it will have all the image you have liked or saved into your account. You can also search for prompts in the input box in the top right here. So if I searched anime, it would filter for all the images that have prompts with anime in it. See, there's anime here, there is anime here, and these are all really cool anime images. And we also got it here. So it gets that style correct. If you click on My Images, it will display all the images that you have generated in Discord. We're going to get to that in the next section of this video, but it's a good way to keep things organized because it gets kind of sloppy and messy in the Discord conversation in the server. So this is a good idea to look back at everything that you've generated. And then you can also find that image, right click, and save it to your computer. They also have a rate images section. My guess is this is to train the model. So it's the same prompt, it generated 2 different images, and you can click which one you like the best. So I like this first one the best. This one is a different prompt. I like the Elon Musk as president better. This one is the same prompt. I'd click this one. These are 2 really different pictures. I can't choose. But what's the point of rating these pictures if you're just training the model? Well, you can earn free hours of fast GPU if you're in the top 2,000 rankers for the day. So they're giving you a bit of incentive to help train their models. And it says bonus hours expire 30 days from the date they are awarded, and you must have an active subscription in order to participate. So you can't be on the free plan, rank some images, and then get free GPUs. You have to be a paid subscriber. but these fast generations help you generate images a lot quicker. So it could be worth it for some people. Clicking the community button opens up Discord. We are going to explore that in greater depth later in the video. View help opens up their billing support or documentation. And then we got a dark mode and light mode. Who even uses light mode anymore? My eyes are burning. In the bottom left, you have your profile. I'm going to click that and manage subscription. Right now, it shows that I'm on the basic plan, which has these features. Scrolling down, it gives you all the options for the paid plans. You can choose from monthly and yearly billing. Let's go through what these features mean for each of the plans. So first off, in the basic plan, you get limited generations. They're giving you a rough estimate of 200 generations per month. When you generate images from a prompt, it shoots out 4 different styles of that image. That counts as 1 generation. So technically, you're getting 200 times 4, which is 800 images on the basic plan. You get general commercial terms, which means you can sell your images on any type of marketplace to clients, use in your business, whatever you choose. You have access to the member gallery. That is what we just looked at. You get optional credit top-ups. And I couldn't find anything in the documentation about credits. I think they mean fast generation GPU times, because on their docs in their official pricing page, they're saying it's $4 per hour to purchase extra GPU time. And then on the basic plan, you get 3 concurrent fast jobs at a time. Concurrent means that the generations are happening at the same time, and you don't have to wait for one to finish before you start the other one. On the basic plan, you get 3.3 hours per month of fast GPU time. Now, what is the difference between fast and relaxed mode? You keep hearing this fast GPU time. Well, if you're not using the fast GPU and instead you're using relaxed mode, it's not going to cost you any GPU time, but your jobs will be placed into a queue based on how much you've used the system. The wait times are dynamic, but generally range between 0 and 10 minutes per job. If you use it less, it's going to be closer to that 0 mark. It's going to start almost instantaneously. If you used Midjourney a lot, it might be closer to that 10 minutes. But there are some limitations. Permutation prompts, -- repeat, and upscalers are not available when using relax mode. So if you want to upscale your image to a higher quality, then you're going to have to use the fast GPU times. By default, images are generated using the fast mode. When you run out of that time, then the default switches to relax mode. So after 3.3 hours of fast generations, if I still had some images left in my monthly quota, then it would roll over to relaxed mode, and it might take me longer to make generations. They're saying unused monthly fast GPU time does not roll over, use it or lose it, and the fast mode is automatically reactivated when the subscription renews. So if you ran out of fast GPU hours, then your subscription renews for the next month, you're no longer in relax mode. Automatically, you're back into fast generations. There is one more mode, and that is turbo mode, but unfortunately, it's not available for version 6 yet. And if you want extremely quick image generations with a lesser model, you can turn on turbo mode. And to switch between modes, you're going to be using these commands, /fast, /turbo, or /relaxed. Or by using parameters at the end of your prompt, you can go --fast, --turbo, or --relax. On the standard plan, those 3.3 hours of fast generations bump up to 15 hours of fast generations. You also get unlimited relaxed generations. That means there's no longer a 200 generations limit per month. Again, you get commercial terms, access to the member gallery, optional credit top-ups, and 3 concurrent fast jobs. So those are the same between the two plans. The only difference is the 15 hours fast generations and the unlimited relaxed generations. As you move up the plan, those numbers increase. Pro plan, 30 hours. You also get stealth image generation, and stealth mode keeps your image generations private. By default, Midjourney is open community. We saw that explore page. those were not our generations. That was generations from other members of the community. But if you're making images in stealth mode, that doesn't go to the explore page. No one can find them. They're for your own private use. You can turn on /stealth or /public, depending on what you feel like. But if you purchase the pro mode, you probably always want to generate in stealth mode. If you don't want anyone to see what you're creating, if you don't want anyone to steal your pictures, if you don't want anyone to see your prompts, steal your ideas, see the companies you're generating for, then maybe stealth mode is a good option for you. With stealth mode, you have the option to unpublish some of your old image generations so you can take them away from the community so no one else can see them. You also get 12 concurrent fast jobs. And then last, we got the mega plan, 60 hours of fast generations, but no increase in the concurrent fast jobs, still 12. When you've thought about what you want and you have selected your plan, you will enter your credit card information, you will subscribe, and it will then take you to the Midjourney server. It opens up Discord, so let's hop in there. When you land in the Midjourney Discord server, it'll bring you to the getting started page, but you don't need this because you have me. They have some announcements. This is where they'll teach you about new features. They'll have status, which is a summary of the current system statuses. Is it working? Is it not? You have the community rules, community updates. It shows you events with popular image generation artists, art classes, office hours, show and tell. And they also have a micro poll, which helps them construct larger questionnaires, help them develop the product. But you want to generate images, and you can do so by going to any of the newcomer rooms. So let's choose Newbies 70. Here we can generate our own images, or we can sit and wait and watch other users generate their own. We can see their prompts, the parameters, and the outputs, and watch what people are doing live. This is almost like the Explore tab. It can be used for inspiration and for learning. But I like to do something different. I like to keep my image generation servers clean. I like to keep them separated and organized. And you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here on the left side for each of my different types of projects. And you can add your own. So down here, click Add a Server, go Create My Own, skip this question for now. I'm going to call this one Midjourney Tutorial. Click Create. It will launch your server. Now go back to Midjourney. On the right-hand side, find the Midjourney bot, click it, go Add App, and then add it to your new server. So I called that one Midjourney Tutorial, click Continue, and then Authorize. And now the Midjourney bot is in that server, and we can use its commands to generate images. If you want to see a list of commands that Midjourney offers, in the input box below here, start by writing /. And it's going to show you everything that's possible with the / key. And look, there's a lot of them here. But there's also some built-in ones with your server. So you can go up here, click Midjourney bot, and it's going to filter for all of the options for Midjourney. /ask gives you the option to ask any question you want about the Midjourney bot. So if you're confused, if you don't want to use their help docs or support, I could ask it something like, how many images do I get per generation? And you can clearly see that this isn't perfect. It thinks that I want to ask it, how many images can I make? So it pulls from their documentation and gives me the answer. But no, I was asking how many images do I get per generation? /blend blends 2 images together to create one type of image. But that's just by default. You can also click down here where it says +4 more and keep adding images. You can add up to 5 images to blend together. But let's just blend 2 for this example. By default, blended images have 1:1 aspect ratio, that is a square, but you can also change that to 2:3 or 3:2. So you got 3 options. Let's say I had an image of a pencil sketch and then this image of a cute cartoon deer. I'd click enter, and it actually blended them together where the deer is smoking a cigarette. So you never know what you're going to get here. But definitely took that pencil sketch and morphed it with that deer. /describe will write a prompt for the image that you upload. Let's say I'm searching the web, I find this image. I used this in my previous video about lo-fi hip-hop beats. and I wanted to recreate this image, but I didn't know what to prompt it. I could use the /describe feature. So I upload the image, I click in here, press enter, and Midjourney is going to read that image and shoot out 4 different prompts that match that style. I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's read one of them. So number 1 is on the night shift, female protagonist, HD wallpaper in the style of light maroon and emerald, Fauvist animator, Canon AE-1, Sung Kim, that must be an artist, serene and tranquil scenes, study place, Chris Ware, which also might be an artist, and then -- aspect ratio 16:9. So what you can do is copy each of these prompts and then paste them in here with /imagine and try to generate this type of image. Or you can use one of the buttons below the image. So if I click number 1, it would start that first prompt and generate some images with that. Or I can click Imagine All and it would generate each of these 4 prompts so I can see which one works the best. So let's do that. I'm going to click Imagine All. And remember, on the basic plan, we get 3 concurrent fast jobs at a time. So you could see it's only done the first 3. Once one of these are done, it's going to start another one. Here, they're all finished. I'm not going to lie, I actually like each of these generations. There could be a debate about which one looks the most like that original image. But looking at it, maybe this first one, a girl sits at a desk working on a laptop. That was prompt number 2. /fast turns on fast mode, but by default, fast mode is already enabled. /help, if I click enter, it shows all of the commands for the Midjourney bot, tells you the basic commands, the extra options like parameters. We'll go through these later in the video. You can also directly message the Midjourney bot instead of starting your own server, just another way to generate images. And you can actually cancel or delete a generation by clicking the X button before it's completed. /imagine is the bread and butter of Midjourney. It's what you'll use to generate images. I will end on this one. /info gives you info about your subscription and your profile. So it says when it's going to renew. It's going to renew on the 12th. I'm in public mode. I have 183.14 minutes of fast time remaining. So 91% of my fast generations. My lifetime usage is 625 images. I've never got to relax mode like I was saying, and there's no image generation jobs in the queue. /invite will generate an invitation link to the Midjourney Discord server. If you want to quickly send it to your friends, get them in here, help them start generating images, you would use this command. /list tuners lists all of your tuners in the server, and you use this in conjunction with /tune. This creates a shareable style tuner based on your prompt. If I go /tune and write something like glitchy 80s nostalgic, and it's going to ask me if I want to create a style tuner, so I do. It's going to tell me that the approximate cost is 0.3 fast hours of GPU, and it's going to take around 2 minutes for the tuner to be generated. I can choose how many style directions it's going to go in. With more style directions, it's going to cost more GPU credits, but I'll get to look through all of those styles and choose the one that fits my prompt the best, which I can then use for future image generation jobs. So 64 is a lot. Let's do 16 for this demonstration. You can choose default mode or raw mode. Raw mode will generate images closely aligned to your prompt. Default will get a little creative. So I'm going to stick with default because I want a bunch of different options. I'm going to click submit and then are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. It says my style tuner is ready. I'm going to click on this link. I'm going to click pick your favorite from a big grid. And I was looking for something like this. A quick gaze over the other ones. Ooh, this one's good too. Not as 80s nostalgic as I was hoping for though. So I could pick as many as I like. And every time you pick a new image, it morphs all those styles together and gets you a new code. So at the end of your Imagine prompt, you'd use the -- style parameter and input your code, and then it would generate images in that chosen style. So let's test out. I'm going to remove all of them except this one because this one will get to see exactly what is working in the background. It's a very vivid picture. It's very simple. and it's given me this style parameter. So I'm going to copy it to clipboard. Let's open up Midjourney. I'm going to go /imagine. I'm going to paste that style in, but I'm going to add something to the prompt. I'm going to go beachfront property. Let's hit enter. And here are the results. This last one's pretty cool. It actually took that glitchy, nostalgic style and put it into a photorealistic image. Like you got the car there. But this first one looks the most like our original tuner image. And if you remember, it was this one right here. But you can see how our style has been an influence for all 4 image generations. /prefer auto DM. If you don't want to generate images in the server, it can auto generate to your direct messages. And that would go up here into direct messages, and then the Midjourney bot, it would send all the images there. /prefer option set sets a custom option, and /prefer option list lists all of your custom options. When you're fiddling with your settings and you like the results of some of the outputs, you can use what you've selected and set that as a custom option for easy access later. Some settings you might like for cartoon images, some settings you might like for photorealistic images, some settings you might like for tiled images. So instead of storing all that information in a document outside of Midjourney, you can set custom options for each of them and easily switch between them while you're generating images. The first step is naming this custom option. So I'm going to call it realism, then click +1 more, and then we got to add the value. These are the parameters that will fit for that custom option. Let's say I like the look of realism when I use --S50, so that's Stylize 50, and then aspect ratio 16:9. So I can click enter. That saves the custom option into Midjourney. And now if I go /imagine and prompt it, a woman is standing on her front lawn in a gas mask, --realism, it's going to take our custom option and generate the image. You can't name your custom options with a space. It will break it. So just use one word. So you can see it grabbed Stylize 50 and aspect ratio 16:9. And if you were curious, these were the results. /prefer remix toggles remix mode. Remix mode takes your starting image and uses it as a general composition for the new job. So it says that it can help you change the setting, the lighting, evolve a subject, or achieve tricky compositions. It's also an experimental feature and may be removed at any time. So if I go /prefer remix, it toggles remix mode on. And when it's on, it changes how V1, V2, V3, and V4 work. These used to be variations. Now if I click it, let's say I like the third one, it pops up the remix prompt dialog box. So now I can change the prompt a tiny bit, and I'm going to add at night, hit submit. And what we hope to get is a similar image as this one, except instead of the daytime, it's nighttime. And that actually worked pretty well. All of these images are at night now. And that first one looks a lot like the third image. The woman is standing in the same position on the image. The house is in the background. It's a different house though, and it's a different looking woman, but it is a similar style. Prefer suffix automatically adds keywords at the end of each of your prompts. So if I entered red, white, and blue, and then went /imagine ice cream dripping down the side of a cone, and then I hit enter, look, it automatically added red, white, and blue to the prompt. Again, another feature to save you time in future jobs. And this is the result. All the ice creams have red, white, and blue colors dripping down from the cone. /prefer variability toggles variability mode on. So if I click this and hit enter, it's going to toggle it on. And now clicking one of the V buttons will create a variation of that same style of image, but generate 3 new types. So let's choose one of these ice creams. This one has a cherry, a recognizable feature of the image. So I'm going to click V3, and here it created 4 variations. I only see the cherry in the second one. Is that the cherry melting in? No, it just looks like ice cream. So we definitely have a cherry in that second one. But you can tell that these 4 images were a variation of that third one. Same shape of the ice cream, same cone, similar background. And you could keep hitting variations until you find something that you like best. By default, high variation mode is enabled, but you also have low variation mode. And that, along with very subtle, produce variations that retain the main composition of the original image, but introduce subtle changes to its details. This is the best way to make slight adjustments to an image. So let's go back, let's hit /settings, hit enter. And instead of high variation mode, I'm going to turn on low variation mode. And let's go up to V3 and hit it again. And that's more like it. 4 variations, very similar. The drip pools are different in each of the images. Now we got the cherry. So if you really liked an image but it wasn't quite perfect, try low variation mode or very subtle. You'll notice that a lot of the / commands that we're using are also seen in the /settings option. And this is a more visual, user-friendly way to change your settings. Most of the time you'll be changing things in /settings instead of using the normal commands. But I'm going to click reset settings. It's going to remove my suffix. It drops back to the default model though. Let's change it to version 6. That's the newest version, but everything else is good here. /private turns on stealth mode if you have a higher subscription plan. On the basic plan, we only have the public option. /public is the opposite of /private. It turns on public mode. /relax mode makes slower image generations, but it saves your fast GPU time. /settings pulls up that settings menu. /shorten takes your prompt and gives you 5 options to make it shorter. Sometimes shorter prompts make better image outputs. You'll have to experiment. For this particular prompt, it's probably too small to shorten as it is. Look, the first version of the shortened prompt is dripping, cone red, white, and blue. It might be able to understand that that's ice cream. Number 5 is just red. I'm telling you that won't work. If I click show details, it shows me the most important tokens in your prompt. But let's try clicking number 1. It's going to generate an image with that shortened prompt. I'll click submit. And it actually kind of got what we were going for. These are all ice cream cones and they're all dripping. But the shorten command will work for longer prompts like this, where it will actually show you the unnecessary keywords in your prompt. It doesn't think it needs detail, depth of field, high resolution, and we'll change it to these 5 options. /show will show a past job based on its ID. So if you have lots of servers and you're scrolling all the way up to find your old generations, you can go /show. Now you have to enter a job ID. And going back to this one, if I clicked on it and went open in browser, and then if I right clicked and save image as, the job ID is actually this string of letters and numbers after your prompt and before .png. So if I copied all of this, right click, copy, went into Discord, pasted this in for the job ID, hit enter, it goes showing job, and there it showed that past generation right at the end of the chat. /stealth also toggles stealth mode, just like /private. /subscribe is mostly used in the newbie channels to subscribe right to Midjourney. We already have a subscription, so we don't need this command. We talked about /tune earlier. /turbo turns on turbo mode. Those are super fast generations. From the docs, turbo mode only works on version 5.2 and below. So I got to turn that on. Then I'll go /imagine. Minced meatballs cooked in a frying pan. I hit enter. And now it says turbo mode. Let's see how fast this generates the image. 15%, 62%, 93%. And look at that. Done. Less than 20 seconds. If only real food was cooked this fast, eh? And finally, /user ID gets your user ID. This is mine. I'm not sure what this is used for. This might only be used for support. I couldn't find anything in the docs of why you would need a user ID. Let's quickly walk through the settings. So you can see your settings by going /settings. And in the drop down, you can choose your model. They have 3 Midjourney models, version 5.2, version 6, and version 5.1. And they also have Niji model version 5. Niji is strictly anime. And it opens up these new settings like expressive style, cute style, scenic style, or original style. So if I did cute style and typed in a man is jumping in the air in jubilation, it will generate a cartoon anime style of that prompt. You can also prompt this in version 6, but if you want ease of use, you can use the Niji model. Before I move on to the Stylize modes, let's quickly look at the difference between version 6 and version 5.2. So I will generate an image in both of these models and we'll quickly compare. First, version 5.2, we're going to go Stylize low. I'm going to prompt it full-length portrait photo of a woman, blue eyes, sky blue iris, with an aspect ratio of 9:16. And while that's generating, I'm also going to select version 6 and we'll do the exact same thing. First, can you tell which one is version 5.2 and which one is version 6? So this is one of the generations. 2 women in the top here. There's another one. There's the bright blue iris. And here we go. And this is the second one. Here, there's the blue eyes right there. I think it's unbelievable the difference between the old model 5.2 and the new model version 6. The realism on this version 6 is just mind-blowing. Whereas the 5.2 looks a little AI generated. It definitely looks fake. Below selecting the model, we have Raw Mode, Stylize Low, Stylize Medium, Stylize High, and Stylize Very High. The Stylize parameter produces images that favor artistic color, composition, and forms. The number you put in Stylize influences how strongly this training is applied. What this means is low stylization values produce images that closely match the prompt but are less artistic. On the other end, high stylization values create images that are very artistic but less connected to the prompt. By default, Stylize is at 100, but it accepts integer values between 0 and 1000. On the documentation, they give us a really good example of the Stylize setting. So the original prompt is a child's drawing of a cat. This is Stylize 0. It generates the image closely related to the prompt. This is Stylize 50. Still looks like a child's drawing. This is Stylize 100. It's starting to get a little more artistic. I doubt a child could draw something like this. This is Stylize 250. We are getting really good drawings now. Only the second image looks like a child's drawing. This is Stylize 500. You're getting gorgeous pictures of a drawn cat. Like, look at this fourth one. This is Stylize 750. Again, getting more artistic. Splattered paint, watercolors. And they don't show 1000, but you can guess this gets even more artistic. So if you want image generations that resemble your prompt, stick with Stylize Low. If you want the Midjourney AI to get creative with your prompt, choose Stylize Very High. Choosing Stylize Very High automatically ends --S 750. Remember, that goes up to 1000. So there could be another button here, Stylize Very, Very High. If you want to get up to 1000, you're going to have to do that manually at the end of your prompt. So your prompt would look something like this. This is an oil painting of King Charles I. And at the end, I add --S 1000. And you can tell our results are very artistic, but they're beautiful nonetheless. Look at the wrinkles in the skin. Unbelievable. So perhaps if you have a vague idea of what you want, a high stylized number might help you find the outputs that resemble what you're imagining in your head. Raw mode is a unique setting that lowers the influence of Midjourney's style. If you look at all the generations of Midjourney, they kind of have a look and feel of it. Like if you showed me an image from Stable Diffusion and an image from Midjourney, most people could probably pick them out. Raw mode attempts to eliminate what they call the Midjourney opinion. Let's test 2 generations out, one with raw mode and Stylize Low, and the other with Stylize Low and raw mode turned off. We're going with a woman posing on a bright red background and dressed in a big, huge, heart-shaped red fur coat. This is with raw mode turned on, and this is with raw mode turned off. Can you tell the difference between these two? I can't really tell the difference. They look very similar to me. After an image job, you get 4 images with a bunch of buttons below. U1, U2, U3, U4 gives a minor upscale to U1 would be the first image, U2 the second, U3, and then U4. We already did variations. This button right here regenerates the entire prompt. Let's say I didn't like any of the results. Instead of copying and pasting this prompt in and generating again, I could just click this button. Let's say I like the first one, I click U1. It makes that image a bit larger and gives us a few options. Here we can upscale the image to an even higher resolution. Both upscalers upscale the image 2 times. In older models, you could upscale up to 4 times. And it also uses your fast GPU time. But this is better than copying the image and then going to a free AI image upscaler on the web, upscaling it there, downloading it to your computer, or paying for a subscription. You have this as an option free in Midjourney. And upscale makes your images a much higher resolution. Upscale Creative will take your image and make it bigger, but slightly change features within the image. You'll notice that in the Upscale Creative, she no longer has freckles. And also her coat is a bit different, and same with this perfume bottle. For comparison, this is the original image. Notice the freckles. Whereas Upscale Subtle pretty much takes that original image and just makes it a higher resolution. We can see she still has the freckles on her face. Why someone would use Upscale Creative versus Upscale Subtle, I'm not sure. The reason you're upscaling an image is because you like it and you want to save it for higher quality. When you're sending this to a client or using it on your website, you want the highest resolution possible in case they want to blow it up to even bigger sizes. Clicking the heart down here likes the job. And now on your Midjourney dashboard in the My Images page, you can set the filters for the ones you've liked and they'll show up here. Clicking the web button here opens up the Midjourney website. If you want to save your image, you can click it, open in browser, right click and save image here. Or you can right click and save the image directly from the Discord app. If you don't have this option, it likely means you're using Discord in the browser and not the Mac app or Windows app. Download the app, use it on your desktop, and you'll get these options. If you want to use an image as a seed image in future generations, you can right click, copy link, go /imagine, paste in that link, and then add to your prompt. I'm going to write turn everything green. And this is what happens when I add turn everything green to that seed image. It definitely added green. This looks like a similar person. This is more of a cartoon image though. But you can get some really interesting results when you use a seed image. I like to use it when creating consistent characters throughout my outputs. Especially in my AI model video, I created an original generation and then used that portrait as a seed image for all my future outputs. And I just kept changing the setting and she looked the same throughout all my generations. Midjourney also has a list of parameters that we haven't shown in the settings. We can add -- chaos to the end of the prompt and it will change how varied the results will be. So if you want more unusual and unexpected generations, turn that chaos number to 100. We did fast, that changes it to fast mode. Image weight sets the image prompt weight relative to the text weight. So if I use that same prompt, but I added --IW, which is image weight 2, it weights the generation closest to the image, which means there's less green, more red. She's holding a red item, wearing the red fur coat, and the woman kind of looks the same in each picture. --no is negative prompting. If you keep getting generations with things that you don't like in your image, you can try negative prompting. In this example, they say -- no plants, and the image generator would try to remove plants from the image. Dash dash quality chooses the rendering quality time. By default, this is 1. I don't know why you'd change it. Maybe if you're running low on fast generation time, you would lower this number. Random changes the number of generations in your tuner code. We played around with tune earlier in this video. Dash dash relax turns on relax mode. Dash dash repeat creates multiple jobs from one single prompt. So you can run up to 40 jobs from one prompt. And it's probably going to take you a while to generate all of those. Dash dash seed is the same as copying and pasting in a link. You can get the seed number from the image and use that instead. Using dash dash stop will stop a job on an earlier percentage. We've changed our style in the command settings, but you can also use dash dash style and dash dash stylize and the number. Stylize and dash dash s are the same thing. The dash dash tile parameter generates images that can be used as repeating tiles to create seamless patterns. So if I prompted it fruits and veggies dash dash tile, you get something like this, which is seamless texture patterns that people would use for tablecloth, curtains, stickers, towels, you name it. And then they have an experimental parameter called dash dash weird, and it creates unusual aesthetics. The numbers go from 0 to 3000. Let's test this out. I'm prompting it a dog riding a motorcycle dash dash weird 3000. This is what we got for dash dash weird 3000. And the dog is riding the motorcycle. We're getting a different aesthetic in each of the pictures. That is not a dog. That is a woman. This one looks real. Compare that to not using the weird parameter, and everything looks kind of like an illustration. So it looks like the weird parameter gives you more styles to choose from, and then you can choose which one works and generate variations in that style. Here are the most common aspect ratios in Midjourney. For best results, use one of these. If you choose an aspect ratio that's greater than 2:1, they say it's experimental and may produce unpredictable results. Dash dash video creates a short movie of your image grid being generated. If you don't want to watch it blur out as the percentage goes higher, you can use the dash dash video. It only works for Discord versions 5.2 and below. Using double colons will create a multi-prompt. It indicates to the Midjourney bot that it should consider each part of the prompt separately. Some people use commas for this, but using double colons will ensure that it separates the prompt out. And the perfect example, this is spaceship, while this is space double colon ship. It's literally a pirate ship floating in space. We can also weigh the different sections of the multi-prompt by adding a number after. You add numbers after the prompt you want to be more important. So in this example, space : 2 makes the space prompt twice as powerful as the ship prompt. And the example they give here is this is space : ship. So it's that pirate ship in space. But if we add a 2 after space, we start to get rocket ships, more planets, a universe. And in this first photo is the only one I see a ship. So it's really focusing on the space part. This is kind of similar to order of importance, where the longer the prompt is, the words at the end of the prompt are less important than the words at the start. And you can also do this with negative prompt weights. Instead of using the no parameter, you can use less weights and remove elements from the picture. In this example, they have a lot of fruit, so they add a negative prompt weight to remove the fruit. I have a new online course. If you have a custom GPT and you want to turn it into a paid web app, get customers, start earning cash on the side. Link is in the description below. And if you like this video, there's 2 more on the screen right now. I want you to click one of them, come watch another one. Let's keep this AI train rolling. Later.